Stevie Stone signed to Tech Nine's independent record label Strange Music, and in 2012 he released his debut Strange Music album titled Rolling Stone. It wasn't groundbreaking, it wasn't special, it wasn't bombastic the more I think about it, but I could always appreciate an artist who shows a lot of style, and in this case through his very unique voice and his immense energy. But it wasn't very long that I realized Stevie Stone doesn't really showcase a lot of dimensions or a lot of depth to his style, even though there were potential to show it. And I noticed this very early in his career, maybe even from his Momentum EP or his second Strange Music album, Two Birds One Stone. Which is funny considering that Stevie Stone always, at least most of the time, kills in his features, at least in the Strange Music artist features. I liked his feature on Mayday's Forever New from their Believers album, and I like his cypher from the Tech Nine collabos, both of them. One was aggressive, punchy, and his demeanor, his cocky and braggadocious demeanor really showcases his style and his confidence really well. But on the other hand, on the second cypher, it shows his more melodic, somber, and more adaptive vocal range and cadence that he can use. To be honest, I wasn't really excited or expecting much from this release ever since the subsequent albums after Rolling Stone. And by Black Lion, which is the name of this album, my statement sort of remains the same. Again, his narrative and messaging is very linear. It doesn't showcase a lot of finesse, it doesn't showcase a lot of flashy creative execution, and not that I'm expecting flashy creative execution, but I would like him to show a bit of style, a bit of playfulness. I always leave a track wanting more from him. To me, his braggadocious element is just there, and then move on to the next. He does it again, move on to the next. There's nothing to sort of grab that makes it so worthwhile to listen to, in my opinion. Now, with a runtime of 1 hour, I was really worried on whether or not Stevie Stone can uphold the momentum of this very layered and very glitzy production, trendy production. By the track Underrated, I already kind of expected what the album will sound like, what the themes, what the execution will sound like. That's very bad considering Underrated is one of the earliest cut on this album. Now, admittedly, it's not with surprises here and there. As I mentioned before, Stevie Stone has style. He has a good voice, he has a good energy, and he has a great singing capability as well. I like the track Conquer with Spade the Ripper, or Spade Ripper. I thought them being in sync in terms of style and delivery, but still have their unique execution in terms how they deliver their flow is very nice. The decimating and monstrous vocal layering towards the end of their verses, as well as their machine gun and choppy flow at the end, was very enjoyable and very fun to listen to. And from this, I can tell that Stevie and Spade are more than sort of creative partners within their own right. I could tell that they are friends in real life. Or it's because Spade Ripper is literally featured 4 times on this album. I also like the intro set in Stone. Instrumental wise, it's nothing special or nothing bombastic about it. It's a very by the bar acoustic guitar intro with a thumping and knock your teeth out bass towards the end with the very dramatic choir. But I think the part that really not surprised me in a sense, but gave me a sort of elation or gave me a sort of liking towards this track is his singing. I think Stevie, when he wants to and when is given the right platform to do, he can produce some very soulful, very somber, melodic singing voice. The track with Mayday and Stinge titled Vibe might be my favorite from the album here. I like the very smoky and laid-back nocturnal atmosphere instrumentals that these guys went for. I can always count on Recognized Burns and the Mayday group to provide me with great rock, blues, influence hip-hop instrumental. Maybe not blues though, but they do have a taste for getting the right guitar riffs. Burns, Stevie, and Recognizes verse is not all that special, but I do like the different styles that they give off in this track. Burns has this very confident and big brother mocking demeanor. Stevie is smooth but has a really great rasp that is so fun to listen to. And Recognize has, of course, a very rapid flow, but it's so silky smooth. Honestly, I can't really say that much of the album other than it's a bit run-of-the-mill, trendy hip-hop albums with some moments here and there. There's nothing really to write home about, especially on the aspect of execution or themes or narrative or whatnot. I want to go back to the track Vibe with Mayday and Stinge. Stinge does the hook here, but he does it bad. Like, it doesn't feel it's executed properly, which is very disappointing considering that Stinge's hook on the track Know It from Mayday's Future Vintage album was one of the highlights. I think it's disjointed, and I think the auto-tune is like working against him. And that's another thing about this album. There's a lot, and I mean a lot of misses in terms of the hooks. The track The Worst For Me featuring Alicia Miller sounds like she's trying so hard, too hard in fact, to sounding sensual but ultimately failing. Holiday with Maze 301 and Spade Ripper once again sounds just uninteresting, and it sounds disjointed, and it sounds really annoying the more and more I listen to it. And the instrumental on this track sounds really cheap as well. And I have to point this out, some of the lyrics that Stevie has here, and not saying he does the hook on this one, but some of the lyrics that is in this album, it's just another, I can't, I'm just cringing to be honest. Lil Mama got a cake like a birthday, I just ran up a check on a Monday, we gon' party like a holiday, I bet I drop the top soon as I drive away. Some Days with Gene M is easily one of the worst Stevie Stone tracks I've heard. Overly dramatic hooks with overly dramatic instrumentals with the pianos and the strings laced throughout it. And look, I understand the messaging for this type of track as well as the track Hennessy and Harmony with Ritz, that's another thing. I was kind of really hoping to grab onto Ritz there. If you're not sort of executing it in a way that is interesting to me, it's not gonna get a pass from me. Of course, I bet some people will like this track. Actually, the more I think about it, the track Jungle, I think I like that track a little bit. I think it has one of the better hooks and one of the better performances, and the instrumental is not all in your face. The bass knocks and the eerie synths is dark and cacophonous, but the King ISO feature here, it just doesn't do it for me. I think at some moments during his verse, his flow, his verse, and the bars duration, the beat duration, it doesn't really fit when combined together. And this line here is really groan worthy. But every time you hit playback, pussy is payback like a voucher check. Another feature that I was really hoping for more is Tech Nine's. Usually in any of the songs that he's featured in, he's one of the best parts of it, if not the best part of the track, hell, even an album sometimes. But I wanted more from him. He gives off a very Tech Nine flow with the constant alliteration and fast chopper style flow, which is very Tech Nine. I do like the multitude of cadence switches that he does for this track. It adds a bit of fresh air to this album, but his verse is so short it's not even funny. Though he does have one line that made me genuinely giggle. It's fuck this, but it's backwards. Tis cuff got you talking backwards when we get lost. Get lost as in sex. I thought that was funny. Yeah, so that's my review for Stevie Stone's Black Lion. I don't think this is all that special. I don't think this is a good project. It's just the same as his first Strange Music album, Rolling Stone, in my opinion. So that's it for my review. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to click subscribe. Don't forget to like this video. And if you do like this video, share it. And don't forget to follow my Instagram account for more What the Robot Thinks content. And I'll see you guys soon. Stay safe. Peace!